with, you know, mixed feelings. Sometimes you're looking forward to it. Sometimes, you know, you don't even know what is there for you at the end of your working career. So today's guest is a civil servant, is a chairman, Senior Civil Servants Association of Nigeria, Lagos State, Olusegun Rahman Balogun, and he will be putting us through on how, as civil servants, we can prepare efficiently for retirement. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So right now, many civil servants, as I said earlier, look forward to retirement, but they have mixed emotions. You know, they're happy, they're sad, they don't even know what to expect. So what are the biggest challenges for retirees?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to appreciate and then thank you for having me on this program, because this is a very important topic, especially for all public servants. And what that means is this: no matter how long you stayed in the service, one day you'll retire. And if you say they are with mixed feelings and all of that, it is normal for everyone. If you've been in a place for a very long time, you have a series of friends and all of that, and then it comes to reality that one day you won't be with those friends anymore. So it's necessary that they have that kind of feelings. In fact, as I speak with you, we still have some that have retired and find it very difficult to stay at home. They still come to Alafsa Secretariat
to do
probably
exactly?
just to, you know, meet people, sit around. They find it very difficult to. So that is just the reality of retirement. You know, putting that aside, you see, again, because of the current situation in the country, where some people retired, you know, waiting to get their money and all of that, it's also a challenge for our retirees. And we want to thank the Lagos State government over the years. You know, let me also start with the issue of the law. In 2004, the federal government enacted the law of contributing pensions, which set aside the defined benefit, you know, scheme we were having as at that time. And then in 2007, the Lagos State government key into it. The Lagos State government is the only subnational up to now that has key into that scheme and that is still working, though there has been a series of challenges. And then over the years, you know, the state government have been trying to, you know, improve on the existing structure. And then even when the law was amended in 2014, the Lagos State government also key into it, because that expanded the scope of the previous law. Do you understand? So far, so good. That is what the Lagos State government has been doing so far.
I'm glad you've touched on financial sustainability for retirees. And of course, you also said that, you know, retirees, you know, like struggle before they get, you know, their pension. So how would you advise a retiree to plan or get something doing before, you know, it gets their pension?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, if you're retiring statutorily from the service, the government also brought out a circular that you have 6 months for you to prepare.
Is 6 months enough to prepare?
Yeah, that 6 months means that you will still be in the service and you process your document while you're in service.
Okay, for documents.
For documentation, documentation while in service.
Okay.
So by the time you're getting to the point of retirement, by then you ought to have completed your documentation. So as you're exiting the service, then what happens is for you to just go straight, do you understand, and then started drawing your pensions. Now, what I would say is this, you know, when government key into the, Lagos State government key into the system, for those of us that were in service before the commencement of that, let's say 1st of March 2007, that was when those that have been in the service before then went into the defined benefit, while those that have been in service after then are into this new scheme. Do you understand? So it's like the state government is managing to do. If you remember, the Ministry of Establishment Training now, it used to be Ministry of Establishment Training and Pension there. So the aspect of the pension has been removed and taken to Lagos State Pension Commission. They are the one managing it now, just for them to be able to have a robust understanding of those that are still in the defined benefit scheme, for them to be, I think they do what they call I'm Alive on a yearly basis. So they will continue to manage that until the last person on that scheme dies before they move fully into this new scheme. So that's what is on ground now.
So how can retirees, engage themselves, before they receive their pension? How can they engage themselves and make some money?
Now, when this new scheme came on board, I remember vividly sometimes with the former head of service then, created a department called Post Service. So once you start Post Service, that's the name of the department in the office of the head of service there. So once you retire from the service, you'll be transited into that department, whereby they do organize seminars for them. Okay. Where we call it kind of pre-retirement seminars, whereby they will talk to intending retirees on what they need to do before they eventually goes into retirement in terms of business opportunities, investment, so that by the time they are coming out of the service, they will have probably gotten one or two things, they think they will be doing. And even they also liaise with various MDAs that does empowerment, different acquisition skills that they can embark upon, so that after retirement, they can go back into full, probably having their own businesses, doing something, so that at the end of the day, it won't be as if they retired and then they went back home to sit. At least they'll have something that they will be doing in terms of trading that will be giving them one or two, stipends at the end of the day. So that's what the government is doing to also help these retirees at the end of the day.
Beyond finances, what other challenges do you think retirees struggle with? You mentioned that some of them, even after retiring, they still come to the secretariat there. Yes. And I was asking to do what exactly? So that means they also struggle with emotional and some psychological issues. So how do they? Is there anything government is doing in order to deal with that or help them go through those emotional and psychological struggles?
Yes, like I mentioned, this the department I'm talking about, on a yearly basis, they do call them on phone, send messages to them to greet them on their birthdays, send gifts to them, and at the same time, even on a yearly basis, almost twice in a year, they do organize a kind of get-together for them, whereby they bring all these retirees together, sensitize, most importantly at the end of the year, so that they in such a way that they won't feel rejected, that the government still cares for them even after retirement. They come around, we see them. In fact, last year December, we saw a lot of them. They came around, they first sit with them, have discussions with them, also try to also advise them on so many things. Even outside that, government, they even do this kind of medical screening for them, just for government to also know their state of health. And aside that, I remember vividly that Mr. Governor also just approved for those that just retired immediately, that they were being put on Ilera Co health benefit, at least for 1 year. That means if you retire for the next 1 year on retirement, you'll be having free access to medical care with the state government. So government has been doing a lot to also, make these retirees not feel that they are no longer in the system.
Let's talk more about the pension scheme again. How long does it take in Lagos State? How efficient, how long, do retirees receive their money?
Thank you very much. Before now, it used to be very difficult. And we want to thank successful governments in Lagos State for what they have done so far in terms of retirees getting their money when they retired. Like I told you that when the Lagos State government, came on this scheme, it issues a bond for those that have been in the service before the commencement of this program. Meaning that for some of us, before that time, I think I was in service for like 7 years when the scheme started. Meaning that by the time I'm retiring now, I have to wait for my bond to be paid into my retirement savings account before I start drawing. And what Mr. Governor has done is that he's been able to clear those backlogs. Like I said, if you're able to process your documents before 6 months before you exit from the service, meaning that for LASPEC, I think they do payment almost every month, depending on how ready their fund is. If that documentation is ready before then, and you are retiring as at that time, that means you get your fund. So meaning that you can't even stay a month. All you need to do is just to face your PFAs, have a kind of arrangement, how you want to get a lump sum, and then how they want to spread the remaining you have. Is it that you want to go into withdrawal system or this annuity? It depends on the choice that you want. But in that instance too, even the government also give advices on if it is program withdrawal or annuity that you want to go into.
Okay.
So that's it.
So while you want to, withdraw the money, whether in bulk or just a bit of it, does anybody come in as a Lagos State official that comes to advise you that, look, this money, don't use it for this, don't use it?
Yes, like I said the other time, that government normally organizes a kind of seminar. I think last
before.
Yes, even before retirement.
Okay.
For example, those that are going to retire between now and end of May 2025, so they will have gotten their details. I'm very sure that LASPEC very soon we call all of them to a kind of sensitization program whereby they will tell them all they need to do in terms of their documentation and then in terms of what they can do after retirement so that they won't have any issues. And then they also enlighten them on the withdrawal method and then the annuity method. Definitely they will call this consortium of insurance companies and as well as the PFAs, they also come there to also give them this professional advice. And that depends on individual on which aspect they want to go to. So
okay, let's leave government aside, pensions aside. As civil servants, at what point do we start to prepare for retirement?
For me personally, I want to say yes, the day you start
I've heard that
work.
times.
Do you understand? And aside that, once you're approaching like 5 years for you to leave, it is then you should be able to prepare very well for retirement. For example, those that are staying in staff quarters, I want to believe 5 years to your retirement or thereabouts should be the time that you should be able to probably move to where you feel it to be a permanent place for you. The reason being that when you move 5 years to that time to where you want to stay permanently, then you get used to it. Do you understand? Unlike you waiting to the last minute before you start, rushing to say you want to move to this or you want to do. So you should be able to have those plans in place before you eventually exit the service. Okay, so that's my own advice.
You've talked about housing now. What other mistakes do civil servants make? That they delay before they get retired.
Retirement. In most cases, it's just now that we have the issue that you even find it on your payslip the day you're going to retire. So that also sends a signal that each time you're seeing your payslip, your date of retirement is there. And it is also important for people to also take cognizance of that date and know that I'm approaching my retirement date. So what else do I need to do? For example, in terms of housing, and that's what the union has always been advocating, the housing scheme that the government has in stock for us. Yeah, if you have that opportunity, you apply for it. So you also get 40% rebate as a civil servant. So I want to believe that especially those that are approaching retirement should also take advantage of that. you can approach Lagos Homes and then Ministry of Housing. Do you understand?
How,
because we have all these schemes. Yeah, we have all these schemes available everywhere.
Okay.
Although it's not really much that way. But if you approach, I'm very sure that that opportunity will be there for people to also get. And I'm also aware that majority of the civil servants are retired. So majority of them are also staying in these staff quarters. I mean, sorry, in these housing schemes we're talking about. So it's an opportunity for them to also have that one.
Okay. Civil servants are used to this health schemes.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, once they are retired, they no longer have it.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah. I mentioned
how does it work?
I mentioned it that once you retire, the first year of your retirement,
you're still on it.
Yeah, you'll be on it for 1 year, and that's Mr. Governor just approved that for Lashma Ilera Oko, that as a civil servant, if you retire, the first year of your retirement, you still have the opportunity to access that health care on free. At least within that period, at least Ilera Oko has different options that are going to be beneficial to retirees with minimal. What is it called? Amount. You should be able to key into that program. Then you have free access to health care. Yes, exactly. So that's one thing.
Housing and health care is
very important for retirees. The issue of housing is not holistic, really, but it can't really go around. But you can still take advantage of it. So we still have those shortfall, but the government is also trying to do something to ensure that they expand that scope.
Okay, how important is your family support, you know, in transitioning into retirement? Because now that you've left work, you're almost 24 hours with your family. So how can the family now come and support?
You mean family to support the retired?
Retiree, yes.
Well, it depends anyway. For example, if you're retired, I want to believe that you must have trained your children. Do you understand? Depending up to university, but what comes to you as benefits, it's what you will use to also take care of yourself, and that is why the law says you're not expected to get that money and say you want to venture into one big business. Or probably you want to go and build a house or whatever. That money is for you to take care of yourself. Do you understand? And I don't expect that. As a retired person, then that's where you want to go and probably marry a wife or probably have a different kid. So a lot of, like I said, a lot of advice and sensitization has been going on in this area for retirees to also know what they need to do that will even keep them longer in life.
Okay.
So,
is there any role that the cooperative societies play for retirees post-retirement?
That is on the aspect of the union. Okay. Do you understand? For example, my association through the Labour Center, TUC, we floated a cooperative, we call it Agri-Cooperative. You understand? Whereby you can invest, be a member. You're not necessary to be on Oracle before you become a member of that cooperative. If you look at it now, with the current situation in the country, you find out that we're not going back into agriculture. Do you understand? And that is what the major business that is going to strive now. And we've encouraged our members to also join. Do you understand? We're trying to also partner with the government. We will have this red meat value chain that we also want to key into. Do you understand? Whereby we go into livestock, planting, and at the end of the day, we distribute to our members, we sell. At the end of the day, what comes in, we also share, you know, among the members. And it is also it's a very viable business if majority of the public servants are also keen into this. And I want to use this opportunity to also advocate that our members out there should come over to come and register with this cooperative. And I know that other cooperatives too are also involved in so many things. And let me say this. Cooperative societies are there to assist the members. By the time you retire, the first money that will be made available to you is what you have contributed into that cooperative. many people like that have retired. The first fund they get is what they have contributed into. So no matter how meager a salary is, you still find out that members also cultivate that culture of savings. Saving. Do you understand? And it has really helped a lot. Majority of them that has done. So if they come into this cooperative, we have different type of cooperative, and this one is a very peculiar one.
The
agri cooperative. So that means you go fully into agriculture. A situation whereby you can't come on your own to say you want to establish a farm. But when you join the cooperative, we put funds together, do you understand? Use it to do business, and then whatever profit that comes into it, so we also share to our members. Okay. Apart from you getting fresh food from the cooperative.
Okay. For those of us who do not have an Oracle, can we join the
Of course, that's what I said.
Okay.
You don't necessarily be on Oracle before you join.
So how can we join it now?
Of course, I can give you the details of the cooperative, okay. You understand, then you join and you understand. So we're even advocating for members to come so that we can expand the scope of our cooperative.
Okay, talking about businesses, you mentioned something earlier that, when retirees receive their monies, it's not the timing to go. It's not the time to go into big businesses. Right. But many retirees like to become entrepreneurs, overnight, and many lose their money.
Exactly.
So is it the cooperative, or how can they be advised in order not to make that mistake?
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying now. That you don't necessarily, a business that you don't started in a while, and then you just retired, and then you said you want to start. When you start a business, the business will also have its own challenges. But when you're doing a business and then you're breaking even, meaning that there's opportunity for that business to strive. But a business you don't know about at all, and you just bring in the fund and then put it into it, and before you know it, it goes on. Instead of doing that, you can be a partner, just like I've mentioned in terms of the cooperative. You can be sure that your money is intact. And you get interest on your money. And any business that their cooperative is involved, the same to also share, will also be shared with you. And at the same time, there are also opportunity to raise share capitals. So whatever share capitals you raise within that cooperative, aside the contribution you'll be making, whatever comes in as your share capital is one thing first that you get. And that's what the Ministry of Agri Cooperatives and Investment, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative and Investment have been doing, just to ensure sensitized leadership of these cooperatives, to ensure that they raise share capitals in such a way that those that partake in those share capitals will get their money funds before sharing any profit to anybody. Okay. So it's cooperative now is getting viable, and a lot of people are keen into it. It's a viable business.
Okay, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday when I saw this topic, and this person insisted that, look, some retirees retire after 35 years, and they're not 60 yet, and they're still, marketable, active, they're still active, they can still work. Is there, for such people, is there anything, government can still do for them to, make them work? So that they can be productive.
Yeah, there is opportunity for them to get a kind of contract assignment, contract job. So if government sees that you're still very active, you understand, and then you spend 35 years in service, not up to like not 50. Up to not up to 60. And then the government see the needs for them to engage you. So of course they will give you a contract job. That has been happening within the system. Okay. You understand? Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to mental health and personal fulfillment. Depression and loneliness are common among retirees. There's this particular agency. Over years, I've heard that once they retire, they die immediately. Not a Lagos State agency. That they die immediately. How can one help, such people? Because they now see themselves as being alone. They don't have all the office shenanigans, going back and forth. Mental health and depression is very important.
It is very, very important. Not even those that are retired, though. even those in the
that are
active
still
service.
in active
And then
service.
and government has been trying to also provide consultancy for these mental health issues. Do you understand? It's not only when you go on the street naked that they say that something is wrong with you. Even those that are okay, you see them okay, but something is wrong with them. Do you understand? So what they do, like the issue of health insurance scheme we're talking about, I think there's also an opportunity to also talk to, you know, to some professionals there that can also talk you out of all of this issue. Retirement does not mean that is the end of life. When you retire, that is when you're supposed to even enjoy your life better. Except
Retired
that,
but not tired.
of course, yes. It's supposed to be a kind of situation you've put in so much effort, so much energy, and you also need to rest at the end of the day. If you have been waking up very early in the morning to go to work, you know, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., this is the time for you to sleep very well. Probably wake up 10 o'clock. You still have some other things to do. Do you understand? Visit friends, you know, talk to people. Do you understand? And enjoy what you have labored for. And this pension money we're talking about, that's why I said it is something that you need to live on. At the end of the day, should be something that will sustain you. Do you understand? And that is why it is also very important that the issue of family are very, very important. And then the issue of friends. Do you understand? That these are the people that will be there for you at the end of, by the time you exit the service. So we should also take advantage, and people should start learning from that. Do you understand that when you have people, always make sure that you do well with them. So at the end of the day, these are the people you're still going to meet.
When you come back home, the people you met. Some have argued that, you know, 60 years is too early.
Too early to retire.
To
right?
retire.
Okay then.
That while some have said, you know,
I understand.
Do you think it should be extended?
Yeah, it should be extended because for us as a union, do you understand? You still find some people at 70. You find very difficult to say that they're 60.
Extended teachers.
Yeah, yeah, that is for the federal government. But we're still coming back to domestication of that circular, especially for the health workers. Okay. You remember that we have challenge in terms of the health sector. We're having this attrition, you know, everybody's just leaving. Do you understand? So that is why it is essential for government to also create that enabling environment for the health workers, for them to be able to stay back. Okay. I know the government has been trying, they've approved series of, what is it called, allowances, these attrition allowances for nurses, for doctors, for other health professionals, that for them to be able to. So at 60 and even 65, do you understand, we still have this medical professionals that are still very, very active, and the government can still take advantage of that, allowing them to stay.
Because they never stop working. Anyway.
Of course, they never stop working. Even a doctor at 60, 70, except he decides to leave that profession completely, he will continue to be consulted till he dies. So if that is like that, so why not extend that retirement age or time?
But those are for professionals.
Not only for professionals, even we as a civil servant. We are also advocating, they've done it for the police and all of that. And
it will affect growth for, you know, the younger ones.
Yes, it does. Let me tell you, it's only in Nigeria you're talking about this. Go to other climes, they don't even have retirement age. Go to Swiss, as long as you are, no, as long as you can. As long do you understand? You can contribute and all of that.
You can opt out.
Of course you can. We're just praying for good health for us to be able to contribute our quota. It's not about taking anybody's job. Do you understand? For you, if you can contribute meaningfully to the development of the country, why not? At any age. So that's what we're saying. So go to other climes. I've been to Swiss. You see even the security, even those officers working. You understand? There's no limit to when you can retire. You understand? So it's an opportunity for us, especially in those medical sector, so that we can probably revive our medical services. You understand? Yeah.
So just before we go, if you could, you know, give one advice to someone, you know, retiring tomorrow, what would it be?
Tomorrow, I want to believe that that person must have completed his or her documentation before getting to that stage. You understand? And if that person has not, I don't want to believe that that person has not done all those documentation. So what I will say is this, that as of now, the person should have a kind of positive mind. He should not believe that now that he's retiring, that is over. He should take it as an opportunity for him to, you know, it's going to be another phase of that person's life, and then he should take a very good care of him or herself for him to be able to enjoy the remaining part of that phase of life in good health, and then right in prosperity, depending on what that person must have done. You understand? That's my advice to the person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
From what we have discussed this morning, retirement is not just about leaving the workforce. It is about entering a new phase with a lot of preparation, the right mindset, and of course support. Thank you very much, Olusegun Rahman Balogun, Chairman, Senior Civil Servant Association of Nigeria, Lagos State, as he has taken us through life after retirement. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.